So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about Terence Crawford versus Israil Madrimov, which is taking place on the 3rd of August this year. So this fight will see Terence Crawford make his first fight in the ring since his last fight, which took place against Errol Spence, which was literally quite a few months ago now. But to be precise, you're looking probably a year by the time these guys have gone in the ring. That's how long it's been, and it's quite sad to see, really, because someone like a phenomenon like Terence Crawford, you would like to see him out a lot more often. You know what I mean? At least 2 fights a year. But obviously, as I said, this is his first fight since July last year. So he will be taking on the 154-pound WBA super welterweight champion Israil Madrimov. So Madrimov currently 10-0 with one draw to his name currently. He's got 7 KOs on his record as well. And he is a Uzbekistan fighter. I think I pronounced that right. But yeah, he is the man who currently holds that belt. This is also for the interim WBO belt as well in 154-pound division. So Crawford is looking to step up and is looking to move up in that weight category division. So he is the welterweight main man, obviously champion. Except obviously you've got Boots Ennis who has the IBF belt, but apart from that, it was Terence Crawford who had all the belts before he vacated that IBF. So he is moving up, and he's probably taking on the lesser of the 154-pound champions. You've got Sebastian Fundora as well, and then you've got another guy who is Bakram Mustali or whatever. I can't even pronounce his name. He's the IBF 154-pound champion. So yeah, I presume that at some point, if Terence does win this belt, this WBA belt, he will vacate his welterweight belts and obviously maybe go after the other belts in 154-pound division as well before maybe moving up again. It just depends on what happens really, because there is that super fight which people want to see between him versus Canelo Alvarez. Um, but again, you're talking that's two weight divisions, which that's a big jump. But in terms of Crawford, we all know who Crawford is. 40-0 currently, unbeaten, exceptional talent, main man, probably the pound for pound king, as most people would say. It would generally be him or Inoue, and that's subjective. Depends on people's opinions. But with Crawford, he has 40 fights, as I said, 31 KOs. Again, what more can I say? He's been in there with some good opponents and he's got some good names on his record. His last fight was against Errol Spence Jr., which he demolished him, literally annihilated him in 9 rounds. Absolutely supreme masterclass that was. Prior to that, he fought an Avanesian. He's been in there with Porter, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Jose Benavides, Jeff Horn. So he's been in there with some good names. He's got some good guys on his record. It's just the case now of what does he want? Does he want to keep collecting belts? Does he want to become undisputed in 3 different weights? Or is it a case where, you know what I mean, if he doesn't want to become undisputed in 3 different weights, does he want to potentially try and have the bigger and better fights out there? As I mentioned earlier, the Canelo Alvarez fight is a big fight for him. And I know as well that he would potentially like to take on Charlo as well. That could be maybe a fight for him in the future. And then who knows what after that, really. But yeah, Crawford is the man. I see him coming through this quite comprehensively. Even though Madrimov will be a tough guy. But I feel as if he would be similar to an Avanesian at the time. Good prospect, but just not enough. You know what I mean? I don't feel as if he would have enough to maybe trouble um, a Terence Crawford, especially if he's motivated and he's up for this fight. I feel as if it could be a bit too soon for Madrimov as well. He's only, 11 fights into his career. Probably needs a little bit more, but let's wait and see what happens. This fight is obviously planned for August. There's some good fights on the bill as well, so obviously you guys should potentially watch out for some of those because Yeah, it's a big card, and it's a card where it's the Saudis that are pretty much doing their business again. The Saudis are involved, so it's quite good to see, really, because most fans probably thought that the Saudis were only going to stay in and pretty much put fights on only in Saudi, whereas this time they've obviously branched out. They've obviously gone into America. And this is the first one in America. So as I said, you've got Crawford versus Madrimov is the main fight. You've got a good heavyweight fight on there as well with Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller. You've got Isaac Cruz, again, Pitbull Cruz, he's fighting on there as well against Jose Venezuela. Andy Cruz, who is an up and coming prospect as well, he's fighting against an Antonio Moran. And then you've got obviously Virgil Ortiz Jr. as well, he's taking on Tim Tszyu. Obviously, Tim Tszyu looking to obviously right the wrongs because obviously he lost in his last fight against Fundora. And then you've got a David Morale as well, again, who most people consider him to be a good prospect as well in that light heavyweight division. So yeah, good card, and let's wait and see what happens. As I said, in terms of my thoughts, my predictions at this stage, I mean, we're a couple of months out, I would have to say that I would favour obviously Terence Crawford all day, every day. And I feel as if this won't go points. I feel as if he'll probably stop him. You get to him probably the latter part of the fight. But as I said, Madrimov is quite durable, so yeah, anything can happen. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you see this fight going, and who do you reckon has the better skills to potentially overcome their opponent? And by what method do you reckon this fight ends? Is it going to be a technical knockout, a full-on knockout, or a points victory? As always, please subscribe and comment. Bless.